Cool tide brushing my skin, sun sinking low in the west, like a slow and silent hymn. I stand alone on the shore where the day drifts out to sea. Every wave takes one more fading dream from me. Yet I stay with the last light on the bay. Old gulls circle and cry, boats turn home through the gold. I taste the salt of the wind and the things we left untold. If I whisper your name, will it write on the phone? Carry out all my ache, bring a soft kind of home, or just fall like a stone through the swell.
On a cliff where the sea eats stone stands a tower of salt-worn bone. Old man keeper with a rusted key talks to the wind more than to me. Endless nights at the farthest light, lantern turning slow in the rain. If the waves remember my name, let them carry it out of sight. Endless nights at the farthest light. He sets flame to the hollow glass, thumbs the crack where the storms once passed. As every ship is a story half told, then falls quiet as the bell tolls. Endless nights at the farthest light, lantern turning slow in the rain. If the waves remember my name, let them carry it out of sight. Endless nights at the farthest light. Said he once loved a sailor's laugh, face like foam that would never last. Her ring lies cold in a shallow drawer, her name unspoken at the door. Years stack up like the driftwood piles, boots wear thin on the same four tiles. He keeps watch where the black sky bends, counting waves instead of friends. Endless nights at the farthest light, lantern turning slow in the rain. If the waves remember my name, let them carry it out of sight. his lantern finally failed to arise, fog pressed in over empty skies. But from the deep came a wandering glow, like his last breath, not letting go.
Down in honest Clare, where the cliff grass bends, we'd race the crying gulls to the turning tide. Bare feet on the stones, cheeks burned and bright, salt on our tongues and the whole day wide. Oh, summer's down by Unwinding Clare, where the waves would braid my hair, every shell a secret prayer. I was young, you were there. Summer's down by Unwinding Clare. You showed me hidden pools in the ragged rocks, crabs like tiny knights in their lifted shields. We'd steal old bread, feed it from our hands to the bold, wet beaks in the swaying fields. Oh, summer's down by Unwinding Clare, where the waves would braid my hair, every shell a secret prayer. I was young, you were there. Summer's down by Unwinding Clare. Evening called us, soft and slow, high smoke rising from the row. But we turned once at the fading foam, promised the sea we'd come back home. Oh, summer's down by Unwinding
Stone on stone, moss in every seam, gulls trace circles over nets that steam. Lanterns like small stars swaying on the pier, footsteps on wet wood, always someone here. In the harbor that never sleeps, tide takes secrets, tide brings them back. Voices rise like curling smoke in the harbor that never sleeps. Old men mend the morning, talk of storms they knew, names scratched into boulders, faded paint salt blue. Children race the shadows, chasing broken foam. Every rusted anchor holds a story's home. In the harbor that never sleeps, tide takes secrets, tide brings them back. Voices rise like curling smoke in the harbor that never sleeps. Night folds down, but the waves keep talking, low and slow, like an ancient prayer. Ships breathe in the dark, ropes creak, hearts remember all who left, all who were waiting there. In the harbor that never sleeps, tide takes secrets, tide brings them back. Voices rise like curling smoke in the harbor that never sleeps. Came in on the evening swell, salt in his coat, years in his shoulder, storm lines around his throat. Lanterns on the harbor stones swayed like they knew every mile he carried, every debt come. Lay it down in the harbor of the quiet tide. All that weight you held so tight, let it go, let it slide. What drifts away tonight leaves the water clean and wide. He touched the post his father carved, names worn to ghosts, masts that once rose like forests, now just weathered hopes. He tasted wind that used to roar, barely a sigh, soft as hands that closed his eyes when he feared to die. Lay it down in the harbor of the quiet tide. All that weight you held so tight, let it go, let it slide. What drifts away tonight leaves the water clean and wide. All the letters never sent, wash like chalk from broken decks, spent and finally spent. Found the boat unmoored, ropes on the pier, only ripples telling someone had been here. No last shout against the dark, no raging plea, only calm behind the loss, like a turning sea. Lay it down. They named her White Wing, broad of beam, pale of sail, launched her at first light from the grey stony quay. Mothers held shawls close, fathers stared hard at the sea. Boys climbed the moor path to watch her slip free. The fog took the White Wing like a hand, like a hunger, folded her clean from our eyes. Names on the wind now, rope, wood, and wonder, lost to the turning of tides. 3 days the wind spoke, then the world went still. Sky like a clay bowl pressed low on the waves. Lanterns on headlands burned thin, burned through. Bells on the harbor rang once, then they gave. Old men on benches trace her course in the air. Here says one storm break, here the cold stare, but their fingers keep shaking, never reaching the end, as if the line's broken just where seas bend. mists come rolling up shore. We set one place empty at the long wooden board, a cup for the helmsman, a crust for the boy, and a silence between them, too deep to avoid.
On the gray stone wall I'm sitting, bare feet brushing morning foam. All the boats are barely breathing, anchors heavy holding home. Seaweed curls like gold green letters, barnacles in crooked rows. Every wave repeats its question, where it comes from, where it goes. Here by the shore, where the slow tides turn, hours drift long as the gulls wheel and burn. Salt on my lips and the sky so wide. Time walks barefoot by the tide. Time walks barefoot by the tide. Grandmother's shawl around my shoulders, threadbare fringe, the same pale blue. Said she met my grandfather right where sand meets morning dew. Told me how they traced the ripples, named each rock and hidden cove. Swore the years moved like a whisper when they walked this curve of coast. Here by the shore, where the slow tides turn, hours drift long as the gulls wheel and burn. Salt on my lips and the sky so wide. Time walks barefoot by the tide. I count the bells from distant harbor, one then nothing, then one more. Between the chimes the world grows quiet, like breath held just beyond the door. I'm older now, but still I'm waiting for days to hurry. Then I learn out here nothing rushes forward, even storms must take their turn. Here by the shore, where the slow tides turn, hours drift long as the gulls wheel and burn. Salt on my lips and the sky so wide. Time walks barefoot by the tide. Time walks barefoot still there. You write from a harbor town, salt on the paper creases and folds. Say the gulls steal your supper, but never the hope you hold. Across the quiet sea, where the stars learn your name, my heart keeps a place at the table. Cup turned down, still the same. Years can bend the road, miles can rise like a hill between. But this small, quiet love stays bright in the spaces unseen. I walk where the hedgerows lean, foxglove and clover nod as I pass. Count every step to the mailbox. Pray for your careful hand. When the wind grows sharp and wild and the night feels far too long, I press my palm to the window. Hear your voice inside this song.
Harbor at the gray dawn, ropes creak, breath like steam, boot prints on the wet boards. World still caught in sleep, a gull draws one slow circle over crates and tar and chain. Lanterns fade to pale sky as we ease out through the rain. So raise your hand to the harbor at the gray dawn, where names are called in whispers and in waves. We leave like slow tide, slipping from the shoreline, quiet as a promise that we saved. Old Joe folds his notebook, tucks it in his coat, says, write me when you're able, but his eyes already know. The bell on top the chapel rings once, then holds its tongue Our weight carves through the harbor like a line we can't outrun. Houses shrink to matchboxes, chimneys blur in mist. I taste the town in salt air, every stone I'll miss. But the sea keeps breathing steady, like it's known me all along. And the harbor keeps its distance as the tide pulls us on. So raise your hand to the harbor at the gray dawn, when names are called in whispers and in waves. We leave like slow tides slipping from the shoreline, quiet as a promise that we save.
Soft is the sky, bare feet on the sand, mist on the stones, shells in my hand, kettle smoke rising from a cottage of stone. Gulls tracing circles where the tide has flown. Morning on the tidal shore, silver water gentle waves carry them home. Old wooden jetty, worn smooth by the years, small painted boats dreaming on their piers. I hum with the ripples, they answer in kind. The world becomes steady, my heart falls behind. Morning on the tidal shore, silver water breathing more. I lay my worries on the foam, and the gentle waves carry them home. If I stray too far from here, if my days grow harsh and loud, I will close my eyes and feel so weaves a shroud. Your cradle was a woven boat, rocked beside the pier. Salt on your tiny lips, old waves humming near. They traced your name in drifting foam as daylight thinned to blue. You slept against your mother's chest. They watched and learned you. The sea remembers every laugh, every tear, every promise thrown like a stone. It keeps them near when the shoreline changes and the houses disappear. The sea remembers who was here. You grew into a restless child, bare feet on the sand, counting every distant sail. You'd wave with both hands. You swore you'd cross the silver road, come storm or gentle breeze. You whispered secrets to the tide, it held them in its deep. Years roll on like quiet swells, names fade from the pier. Boats fall into rust and grass, old songs disappear. But stand upon that evening shore, listen through the roar. It says your name in broken shells, in echoes from the oar. The sea remembers long after we're gone, softly calling, always calling, carrying us down by the lane where the blackberries grow. Mammy hung sheets in a row. She'd hum on the breeze, not a word out of place, just vowels and traces of grace. I'd chase the cloth shadows bare feet in the dew. She'd spin the old air soft and true. Said songs are like swallows, they'll visit then go, but some find a roof in your bones. Oh, the song the wind remembers, it finds me again, finds me again, carrying verses I can't quite finish, faces and fields, every refrain. When I close my eyes in the quiet, I hear that old tune drifting. All the lives I've loved are singing in the songs carried home by the wind. Years turn the lane into tar and white lines. Neighbors moved on with the times, but once in a while from an upstairs room a child hums that half-forgot tune. I leave my window open wide, let the chorus slip inside, let it braid our borrowed days with an echo of her name. Oh, the song the wind remembers, it finds me again, finds me again, carrying verses I can't quite finish, faces and fields, every refrain. When I close my eyes in the quiet, I hear that old tune drifting. All the lives I've loved are singing in the songs carried home by the wind. Hush now, the kettle, the night drawing in. There's a familiar song on the wind. Kettle hums on the old stone range, salt hangs quiet in the air. Your coat still waits on the crooked nail by the windowed rocking chair. Footprints fade on the pale wet sand where you waved that August day. Gulls drew circles above your head as the boat pulled you away. So I wait by the shore where the long grass bends, calling your name to the turning wind. Every wave that breaks sounds the same refrain, you are gone. But the tide still knows your name. On the sill grows dim, smoke curls slow from drifting peaks. by the ticking clock and the sound of your empty seat. Neighbors say I should lock that door, fold your clothes and start again. Still I lay out a second plate for the sea to bring you away. So I wait by the shore where the long grass bends, calling your name to the turning wind. Every wave that breaks sounds the same refrain, you are gone. If you found some kinder harbor, if you walk some brighter strand, may you hear this broken whisper like a shell held in your hand.
Sun sliding down that far old ridge, gold on the roofs and the river bend. You'd lean back, boots in the dusty grass, say, wait, just watch it end. We'd count the colors on that line where day falls into time. You'd say, listen, this is how the world sighs soft, then changes shape somehow. Evenings on the horizon, holding on as it was gone. Smoke from the chimneys hanging low, dogs start to bark at the first barn light. You trace maps in the cooling dirt, everything smaller by night. We'd count the colors on that line where day falls into time. You say, listen, this is how the world sighs soft, then changes shape somehow. Years roll over like distant hills, names fade out, but the sky stays wide. I sit alone on the same one rise, saving a place by my side.
silver path on the water, soft as breath on my skin, all the world holding steady, all the ache held within. Moon on the tide, carry my heart where I cannot go. Quiet and wide, rock these restless dreams in your glow. Moon on the tide, keep all the words I never showed. Bare feet pressed to the shoreline, cold sand, memory in foam. Every wave folds around me, leaves me standing alone. Moon on the tide, carry my heart where I cannot go. Restless dreams in your glow. Moon, and if I whispered your name to the current, would it drift through the dark to your door? Would you feel this unspoken devotion like a hand you have waited for? Ooh, da 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 doo. Ooh, da 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 doo.
My father set me on the pier, said, listen boy, she's talking. Gulls all hanging in the wind, boats like cradles rocking. Salt was cracking on his hands, old rope at his feet. Every word I ever learned, the sea gave it to me. These are the years the sea kept tucked in the turn of the tide, youth like foam on the bowline. Gone with a blink of an eye, I gave her days, I gave her bones, she gave me bread and a song. These are the years the sea kept holding my whole life long. I was 17 and foolish, chased a storm for pride, laughed when older voices warned of teeth beneath the tide. Night came sudden as a door, slamming out the light. Found my prayer in someone's name, spat it to the sky. These are the years the sea kept tucked in the turn of the tide, youth like foam on the bowline. Gone with a blink of an eye, I gave her days, I gave her bones, she gave me bread and a song. These are the years the sea kept holding my whole life long. married on a Sunday noon. By Monday I was gone, lantern in the upstairs pane, burned till nearly dawn. Children grew like rising swell, then slipping from my reach. Each goodbye upon the quay, another crack in me. These are the years the sea kept tucked in the turn of the tide, youth like foam on the bowline, gone with the blink of an eye. I gave her days, I gave her bones, she gave me bread and a song. Now I walk the harbor stone, slow and near the ground. Friends are driftwood scattered wide, few of us still found. If she calls me one last time in a winter rain, I'll just lean into the pull and let her know my name.
On a headland of heather and stone, where the gulls write your name in the foam, I stand with your shawl round my shoulders, counting the waves as they roll. Love is waiting past the water, past the foam and falling shine. I will find you where the sky goes, beyond the far blue line, beyond the far blue line. You sailed with the dawn at your back, with a promise stitched into your cap. Keep faith when the wind turns against you. Look for my light when you're lost. Seasons have folded and faded, fields turn from green into gold. Still, when the sun melts the ocean, I feel your hand in the cold.
Pebbles cold beneath our heels, sky all gray and breathing rain. You trace circles in the sand, said this place will know our names. Host by the turning tide, spoken soft, but they reach so wide. Waves roll in, and they fade from sight. Still I carry what you swore that night. You left patterns with a driftwood stick, lines and arrows pointing home. Tied a ribbon to my wrist, said this thread will not let go. Forced by the turning tide, spoken soft, but they reach so wide. Waves roll in, years fall quiet like the foam. I walk that shore alone. Your ribbon's frayed, but it still holds tight. Every promise echoes with the gulls in flight. By the turning tide, spoken soft, but they reach so wide. Waves roll in, then they fade from sight.
By the bend of the bay where the brown rocks lean, I walk with the salt in my hair. The gulls draw their circles, the day turns green, and the wind folds a prayer in the air. I kneel where the tide leaves a shining line between all I've lost and I'll be. Lay my palm on the foam, feel your hand on mine as I whisper my dreams to the sea. Oh, the sea keeps my dreams where the sun cannot burn them, where the years cannot turn them to stone. Every wish, every word that the shore never heard in the deep, they are cradled and known. Oh, the sea keeps my dreams, so I'm never I tell her of children not yet in my arms, of a cottage with smoke in the rain, of a lantern that waits, of unfinished yarns, of your boots by the door once again. The waves answer soft with a silver sigh, like a mother who rocks silently. And she pulls all my fears like the moon pulls the tide from my throat, from my heart out to sea. Oh, the sea keeps my dreams where the sun cannot burn them, where the years cannot turn them to stone. Every wish, every word that the shore never heard in the deep, they are cradled and known. Oh, the sea keeps my dreams, so I'm never alone. Someday when my footsteps grow shallow and slow, and my hair takes the color of foam, I will lie by the shore, feel the undertow of the place that remembers my hope. And if ever you stand on this same wet sand, with a sorrow too heavy to speak, close your eyes, let it fall from the shake of your hand. She will carry your dreams to the deep.
There's a bend in the lane past the blackthorn hedge, where the river cuts sharp through the stone. I stood there at 20 with a pack on my back, swore I'd follow the far wind alone. But your hand found my sleeve and your voice found my name, like you'd worn both for years in your mind. I laughed, said another day, left that road behind. So I'll drink to the roads I never walked, and the ships that never saw my face. Raise a glass to the ghosts of younger plans, let them vanish, leave no trace. I could count every turn as a failure, wear the weight of what I'll never get, but I'm choosing memory over regret. There's a box by the bed of old paper and thread, faded letters you thought that I'd burn. One from a harbor, one stamped from the mines, all the lives I once swore that I'd earned. We sit on the floor, trading what if and when, till the fire settles down into red. Then you lean on my shoulder and whisper, we're richer in stories instead. I have stood in the quiet of an empty field, heard the wind call the boy I was then. But he smiles in my mind, tips his cap to this life, says you did well, my old friend. So walk home choosing memory over regret. I have stood in the quiet of an empty field, heard the wind call the boy I was then. But he smiles and my mind tips his cap to this life, says you did well, my old friend. So I'll walk
soft on the sand where the shells lie broken. I walk with the wind and the salt in my hair. Every small footprint, a word left unspoken, yet somehow I feel that you're already there. Quiet faith like the endless tides, coming and going, yet always beside. I don't see your hand, but I know your size. In the hush of the shore and the pool of the skies. Boats on the bay fade to faint little shadows. Ghosts circle home through a silver gray day. I've run out of questions to cast at the shallows, so I stand in the stillness and let you be safe. Quiet faith like the endless tides, coming and going, yet always beside. I don't see your hand, but I know your size. In the hush of the shore and the pool of the skies. When my heart is a stone in the palm of the water, when my prayers fall as short as my breath, you turn every wave to a small simple altar and promise me life in the rhythm of
Laid out the nets on the kitchen floor, salt still caught in the frayed old rope. Mother folded my sweater twice, said, there's warmer work ashore. My brother's hands were black with ink, ledger lines and a clerk's dull chair. He said you could have a key to a door and a coat you'd never tear. But the sea had a hold of my name, like a wave that won't fall back. Every road on land turned strange, every map went pale and flat. So I kissed their cheeks, took the harbor wind, let it carry what's left of me. I chose the call that never ends. I paid the cost of the sea. First year took the shine from my skin. Second year took a friend I knew. Third year I stopped counting the days, just counted the scars that grew. Letters home came fewer, thin, smelled of smoke, not bread, not rain. Father's script turned small and slow, till it vanished from my name. There's a ring in a box by my bunk, from a girl who wouldn't wait. She married a man with steady ground and a roof that doesn't shake. Now I stand by the rail before dawn, mug gone cold in my stiff right hand. I trace their faces in the foam, watch them sink like lines in sand. But the sea had a hold of my name, like a wave that won't fall back. Every road on land turned strange, every map went pale and flat. So I kissed their cheeks, took the harbor wind, let it carry what's left of me. I chose the call that never ends. I paid the cost of the sea.
You fold up your shawl at the doorway, lantern gone dark in your hand, salt in the threads of your memory, sand in the seams of this land. The sea is always waiting, just beyond the barley and the stone. The sea is always waiting for every heart that thought it sailed alone. You trace all the names on the harbor wall, moss where the paint used to be, voices that left with the morning tide, whispers that drift back in sleep. The sea is always waiting, just beyond the valley and the stone. The sea is always waiting for every heart that thought it sailed alone. Years come in quiet like evening rain, boats grow smaller each time they leave. You stay and you listen at water's edge, it hums you the promise it keeps. for every heart that thought it sailed alone.
He walks where the tide leaves lace on the sand, boots worn smooth like the back of his hand, salt in his beard, grey in his gaze, counting each footprint like the counting of days. And he whispers, "Oh, my brothers, where did all our seasons go?" Names like islands on his tongue as the cold waves rise and flow. Every white cap holds a story, every gull call sounds a prayer for the ones who never made it home, and still he finds them in the air. There's schemers who laughed over cards in the hold, Tom with the songs that could chase off the cold. He sees them in clouds, in the curve of a sail, in the tilt of a mast on an invisible gale. The harbor bells echo across the dimming bay. He pauses by the jetty stones where they all once sailed away. He tips his cap to empty sea, to every face he knew by heart, says, "I'll follow when you call for me, but not yet, not yet to depart." They christened her Starling at Kinsale Quay, tore on the ropes and salt in the tea. My father kissed my brow, said, "Mind the wind, boy, mind it now." We slipped from the harbor in a gray tide dawn. Gulls drew circles, then were gone. The headland shrank to a crooked thumb, and the bell on the buoy went dumb. Into the fog sailed the Starling, past where the shoreline ends, into the fog when her lantern's fading like the faces of friends. I call her name in the mornings, I hear her keel in the rain. Into the fog went the starling, and she never sailed back again. 3 days on the compass spun, sky like wool, no hint of sun. The sea went flat as an old church floor, and the world grew small as the oar. Voices muffled, each man alone, hands on the rail, hearts turned to stone. Captain whispered charts and prayers, while the fog curled into our hair. Into the fog sailed the starling, past where the shoreline ends, into the fog when her lantern's fading like the faces of friends. I call her name in the mornings, I hear her keel in the rain. Into the fog went the starling, and she never sailed back again. Some say she wanders where the lost songs go, where broken nets and promises drift slow. I see her wake in the drifting foam, I hear her mast in the timbers of home. Now I sit at evenings by the muted tide, pipe gone cold at my side. Children ask where the starling lies, I answer only